Come on in, good girl. Good girl. Welcome to this week's Outfitter Tales, and as you can see we're actually working for a living. Well, I am. Been out this morning, well you have as well actually to be fair. Been out this morning with a client and just dropping a row back into the larder. And you've been recceing for clients coming tomorrow?
Got a few clients in over the next couple of days, so I've been out doing a wee bit of a recce. Nice cold, hard frost this morning.
Yeah. So
all the deer are down into the valleys where it's a wee bit warmer for them, so they're all getting concentrated in certain areas.
Yeah, I've found that as well, because it's I've got on a banking which is pretty sheltered, nice and sort of out of this sort of bit of wind that was this morning, and they were all on the banking. Yeah.
The banking.
The banking, the famous banking.
Yeah, but this afternoon with the sun coming out, they all should be on those.
Yeah, there will be this afternoon.
So it's facing north facing banking, shouldn't they?
But you've seen quite a few grow out, I think, this morning.
Yeah, there was about 6 or 7 out this morning. A couple of red hinds and calves.
What time are you meeting the guys in the morning?
Meeting them at 10 to 8, just so we can check things over. It's not really light now until about 20 past 8.
Yeah. So. Okay, good.
Yeah, all good.
So we've got what else we got
coming up? So we've got a nice Ayrshire clip coming up.
Yeah. Seasonal this time of year.
Definitely.
So it's good to see that, and going to do a little bit of a brandy cost kind of booty review, long-term review.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions about boots, don't we? And what boots we use and why we use them. So
yeah, so we'll cover that.
Good. Yep. No, about that. So here we go. A nice seasonal doe clip here from in sunny Ayrshire. Come out right now.
Yeah, this week's clip, we're actually at home in the southwest of Scotland. I'm actually not in the southwest of Scotland now. This beautiful afternoon we're in Argyll. But basically back at home we were checking an area of stubble turnips near, probably very close to the house actually. And it's a farm that's split into 2 or 3 little sites. This is not a big parcel of land. There's a pond and some set aside and some some arable crops. So it's quite close to the farm, so if I'm doing anything here I need to basically get in early in the morning and just for that first hour, particularly at this time of year when daylight hours are quite short. Okay, we're out early up by the pond, and here a buzzard just above us. There's a couple of roe down below, 2 kids, but at the back of the mound in front of us there's another couple of roe. We've lost them now. I think one of those is a buck. So we're just waiting until we got a bit more light, positively identified. We just wanted to wait and sort of positively identify what I'd got. I was pretty sure it was a doe and a kid, and I wanted to take the kid. But I wanted to have a look at them in good light first. Unfortunately, before we actually got that into that position where I could shoot one, they weren't sort of stood correctly. They just kind of meandered off into the wood as deer do. So unfortunately, we didn't get the chance there. My dog was being teased all morning by hares running in and out past her, so that had her wired. So that's a good opportunity to test the steadiness of your dog with sort of hares running past her. I basically continued along round the edge of the field margin. I spotted another deer kind of laid up in a fairly thick banking to our left. Stalked into a nice position, kind of got set up, and then when I positively identified that was quite a nice buck. So kind of farm at that point was starting to get active again, so we called it a draw. So not all stalks are successful, many of them aren't, and in this case we were frustrated, so I'm afraid the deer beat his hands down this morning. So second morning out, commercial block of conifer plantations, again southwest Scotland, quite close to the house, and quite a still day, quite tricky. But I went along what we call a top road, which is a road that runs along a big planted banking, and then there's a lower road below it, quite a way below it, and then that drops down again into another glen. It's a really nice place for a row. Hadn't seen anything, but you'll clearly see here the benefit of a dog, because Sasha started indicating to my left with a nose pointing over the top of the edge of the road down into the valley. So that's a clear indication to me that she's scenting deer somewhere, definitely deer. So having spent a little bit of time glassing down, probably what would have been 400 or 500 yards down below us, we could nicely pick up a row moving in a little triangle of scrubby birch and willow on the edge of the conifers at the side of the lower road, feeding quite nicely, and watched them for a while, and there were clearly 3 deer there. I think there was maybe a 4th as well. 2 of them were definitely kids and 1 was the doe. So basically managed to backtrack along the road, and then there was quite a nice easy approach route from above them down a grassy banking. And got to a position about 140, 150 yards above them, and then it was just a matter of positively checking to see that they were still there. One of the deer was clearly smaller, one of the followers was clearly smaller than the other, so selected that one, waited for the doe to turn broadside, and shot the young doe. Girl, good girl. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Okay. Right. Nice healthy young doe follower. We'll get a growler done. We'll find a tree. Yeah, interesting. What we've got here is it looks like this has had an old break. The leg's slightly bent in. You can see where the bone has healed and knitted together there, but it's actually, you can see the line, it's not gone dead straight. So there's been looks to me like a broken foreleg, possibly on this kind of terrain. That often happens. It's in good nick. I mean, we'll have a look, but there's no infection or anything in there, but that's clearly had a break on the leg. You can see the different angle. It's not set dead straight, it's just come back this way. So I didn't see any obvious sign of that when I was shooting it or selecting it, because just happened to be the smaller deer at the back and the one that we shot. But anyway, glad we took that one, but it's all right. So relatively easy recovery from that point to sort of walk it back up the hill, although it's quite a bit of a pull, and then collect it in the vehicle and back to the house for breakfast. So a nice morning. Yeah, I quite enjoyed making that one actually.
Yeah.
Similar sort of weather to today. Proper weather. We've had too much rain though the last few weeks. It's nice to get a bit of this and get everything dried up a bit. I think it's nice just to discuss the deer management aspects as well, you know, as we're coming round into the New Year period. It's that kind of end of the doe season. We like to be ahead of the game early,
so
selective about what we're shooting.
End of the day, we run a business, so we like to get most of our culling done with clients, paying clients.
Yeah.
It's a business, and as I've said before, we try and get it done before the end of January, so we're not going too long into the sort of when their fetuses are a bit bigger.
trying to pick on the youngsters, get the youngsters, the old does out of the way, and leave nice, healthy kind of breeding population on areas where we've got flexibility to do that, and in some areas we have to be harder. You still try and take them in that order if we can. It's the ethical way to do it.
It's all about prior preparation and planning.
Prior preparation prevents not such a good performance. Anyway, that's enough of that. So we've got, well, what have we been up to this week?
This week I've been mostly MTFUing.
I wasn't going to mention that because you're a great one about MTFU pills. No, it's a relatively not too bad a period, actually a quiet period. So if you're going to be poorly, I suppose.
So for those of you who don't know what an MTFU pill is, every time I see somebody that's ill, I always tell them I've got some special pills for them, and it's MTFU pills. Man the
Beep up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it.
So you had to take a bit of your own medicine. You haven't whinged.
I had handfuls of them, mate. Trust me.
You haven't whinged, and I know you've not had a drink either, so it must have been bad. Not that you drink a lot anyway. And so what we're going to do? Oh yeah, the boots. So basically, coming up now is a little bit of a look at well over 12 months now of wearing the Brandycost boots, and this was after a period we'd been down. I think I'd been away for nearly 3 weeks. You joined me about a couple of days after that, so you were 2.5 weeks. So whilst I had additional footwear with me, same boots on all the time, 4 seasons throughout the whole period, from monsoon to frost to glorious. Didn't touch the boots because you can't when you're away. They're on morning and night. We didn't have a day off, I don't think.
Nope.
Stalking morning and evening the whole way through. And the clip here is the boots on my way back according to check a new piece of Seeker ground out. So that was the last time they were worn in basically I think 20 days. So pretty good test, I would say.
Yeah. And we put them through their paces.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Brilliant for stalking, guys. Crocs, way forward. Going out, evening meal, posh restaurants, stalking, you name it, multifunctional. Want to talk about boots. Been stalking 3.5 weeks, and same boots on, 3.5 weeks, every day with the best that Stormbird can deliver. People ask about what are good boots. Well, not touched them, not had the time to touch them, not had the kit to touch them, to dry them out or anything. I've taken spare gear just in case, but I have not worn anything different to those for 3.5 weeks through Storm, whatever it was. What was it? Darragh. I think Storm Darragh, I think it was. Feet have been dry, comfortable. What a cracking quality pair. I see all stuff all the time about these boots on social media and all the rest of it, and people being disappointed with them. Well, look, there you go. Can't fault them. People also need to understand how to maintain boots. So what I'm going to do with these now is I will let them dry out. So they're dry inside, but obviously the outside leather. So I'm going to let them dry, but let them dry naturally. Don't stick them on a fire or on the radiator. Just let them dry out naturally for a few days. And then what I'll do is just, before doing that, make sure they're clean, obviously taking the dirt off. Let them dry out. Give them a brush, make sure all the seeds and everything's off them, any mud's off them, and then give them a treatment with whatever you use. Brandycost supply actually all the treatments, and there's advice on doing that. But give them a good treatment then, put some dubbing on whatever, and they're ready to go for whatever. If you don't look after your boots, then don't sort of whinge when they let you down. But if you look after them, then you'll be able to wear them solid for 3 weeks in about every possible condition you could imagine, and your feet are going to remain dry. So they've been certainly put through their paces in all sorts of different terrain, from Hertfordshire to where I'm now back home in Scotland in the borders, and awesome. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that. Good boots.
I like the tassel ones.
Yeah,
obviously
yeah, those are the new ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's personal preference. I don't like because I've got big chunky legs. They're a bit high for me.
Yeah, basically.
But I do need this.
What you mean is on a high leg boot, they reach your kneecaps, so it looks more like a thigh boot on you than it does on me.
Yeah. well, I think obviously in the military, I've done my ligaments 15 times, so I need. Yeah. I'm constantly, even at home, I'm in boots.
I think it's interesting because it is a question we get. We've put this piece in because it's a question. Probably one of the questions we get asked most are centre around boots. Whether it's what boots do we think are the best? Why do we wear them? People are complaining about boots that they originally used to wear. I could probably...
And I've got two pair of them.
You've got two pair of them, but I mean the boots that I originally started wearing when I first started stalking, I'm not going to mention the name because I'm not going to be slagging anything off, but generally I think the boots that people were wearing 20 years ago now do seem, in the main, seem to get quite a lot of bad press for longevity, water resistance.
I think they've changed the manufacturing
process. Yeah, they must have done.
Country.
They must have done. They must have done. And then I started working with the guys at Brandycoss about 18 months to 2 years ago now. And I mean, primarily that's because they were developed for the Galloway Hills. We're on the edge of the Galloway Hills, so it was kind of logical to A, be working with a local firm, and B, they're obviously committed, they're committed to what they're doing. So they've got guys like me and you out in the field, we're wearing these every day to give them some honest feedback. Yeah. So if we find fault or a problem, we can feed that back in, or if we think maybe there's a better design, or perhaps what about trying this, and other people are doing the same, then they're prepared to try it. And in Italian, I think Italians still have the reputation for quality of leather and leather work. So I mean, they're developed in the Galloway Hills by local guys, Josh and the team, and they're actually made in Italy, so I don't think you could get much of a better combination. And I mean, I think another element of boots is maintenance. People don't know how to look after a pair of boots properly.
I always find as well, have more than one set, especially if you're out quite regularly. If you walk into my house now, there's probably about 10 sets laying on the floor.
Yeah.
Some that I use for different weathers, for example.
Yeah, agreed.
Some
and I mean,
some autumn stuff.
The big problem with leather boots is people don't dry them out correctly. So once a pair of boots needs to be cleaned and dried out,
on the radiator.
You just don't do it. You're not putting it, absolutely not. So you need to let the leather dry out. Dry out, yes, but dry it out naturally and slowly, not forced.
And also reintroduce those oils and
because of crack and everything. And so look after them. People boots, and it don't matter what type of boot they are. If you just don't do anything with it and treat it like anything, don't treat it correctly, don't give it a little bit of maintenance every now and again, then they're going to let you down. Like any, if you don't service a car regularly, it's going to break down.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's an element of looking after the boot as well. But you need to start off with the product wants to be good to start off with. Anyway, I like them. That's what I'm wearing.
I'm blabbering on again.
We're blabbering.
Yeah.
Shut up. What you're saying is shut up.
Yeah.
Okay then. So on that note, it's we'll get this deer sorted out and into the chiller. Although we don't really need to chill it much today. It's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
And as always, please keep watching, subscribing, because that's what we need to keep bringing these shows to you.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.